Gentlemen and ladies, Sandamtod here, back again. Let's make a freaking video. I'm here to make video about nothing. That's usually what we talk about, right? Nothing. Let's see here. This is a kind of a pick-up-y video. I'm going to show a couple of the games, or the other games that I picked up for the PlayStation 4, outside of the three Resident Evil games and the Battlefront. And then I have a few Pop Guys and Rock Candy figures, and then I got a package in the mail. So I figured that'd probably do a video for us. That'll do her. So let's get started here. I am really enjoying the PS4. Been playing pretty much exclusively the XCOM 2. It frustrated me so much in the beginning because there's a tutorial on when you start in the battle, like when you're in the battle part of the game, but there's no tutorial about how to navigate the overhead map or what you need to do to really facilitate getting things done in the beginning. And it's just like you have to keep picking up supplies and picking up intel along with scanning at these certain locations to locate resistance groups. And the whole time there's this bar at the top called the Avatar Project that keeps filling up every few days that go by in the game until it hits critical mass when it's full. And then it starts counting down a 30-day timer. And like I said, you speed up time as you go along by scanning and stuff. It accelerates the time. So when you get down to that 30 days and it starts ticking off, because believe me, I hit the 30-day mark, it's like I thought I was going to have to start over. And it was so frustrating. I couldn't figure out how to get intel. My characters were so low level, and it seemed like the stuff I was fighting was just kicking my ass. And it was like, you know, I started making a video, so of course the cat's going to go nuts in the freaking hallway. What are you doing? I just started, you know what's going on here. Anyway, stupid cat, you gotta love him. Anyway, I literally got down to 1 day and 2 hours on this Avatar timer because I had to reach, I had to go assault one of the locations. Well, the location was in a country I wasn't in contact with. So I had to scan to make contact and then scan again to make contact in the actual country, and then I could go do it. And I literally got down to 1 day and 2 hours left. It was like the last mission. So I literally thought this is it. So I was probably going to have to start over. And I was really kind of fuming about it because I'm like, this is so goddamn painful, you know. And I don't know, something flipped when I beat that mission. It knocked the Avatar bar back 2 marks. I think there's like 16 little red squares. There's a certain number of red squares, but it knocked it back 2 squares into the Avatar bar when I beat this. So it pulled me out of the fire, and then I was able to kind of continue from there. And after that, I did have to go online and like Google a couple things like how do you get more intel, because you have to have the intel in order to scan and make contacts with the resistance, and I didn't have any. And they kept saying, well, if you scan at the headquarters you'll get a slow trickle of intel, but it wasn't enough. And I read on how to get more intel and manage your supplies a little better. I still didn't really read anything on what you should research first or this or that or the other thing. But it all worked out in the end. I think I'm doing pretty well right now. I feel like I've kind of over halfway through it at this point. I feel like they're pushing me toward some stuff. I pretty much have researched everything I can possibly research at this point, so I have the good weapons, and I bought most of the upgrades and stuff, and I still have plenty of supplies. Another thing that's different about this game is in XCOM Enemy Unknown, when you beat missions, you would get 4 engineers or an engineer and a scientist or whatever, and they would just go into your pool. On this game, you have to buy the engineers, basically. You pay to recruit them. And you use supplies to do it, and they're expensive. But you have to buy engineers and lab people in order to speed up the time frame it takes for them to do these projects. And it's like, that was really frustrating, because I was used to getting engineers just as the cherry on top of the sundae. You know, and it's like, now you were having to spend almost all your cash that you got in a month to buy 1 engineer, you know, because the missions you were having to run to get intel. Instead of, you could either get an engineer if you went to this location, or you get 200 supplies if you go to this location, or you get 100 and something intel. Well, I needed the intel, so I got to go get the intel. So, I mean, the engineer and lab people, the scientists, were a big deal for me to figure out how important they were and how expensive they were in the game. And I don't know. I am really enjoying it. I like the storyline. I think they really kind of expanded it, and it's basically like 15 years later or 20 years later after Enemy Within. And the planet kind of got overrun by aliens that came supposedly in peace. But, you know, they're basically a dying race that's trying to use humans as a way to splice human DNA into their genetic structure to pull them back from the extinction, basically. And we're trying to put them in the grave. So, you know, yes, nicely, maybe we would have helped you out, but now we got to kill you, you know, that kind of deal. So, anyway, yeah, I am really enjoying it, and on that topic, here it is, XCOM 2. The enemies are a little bit tougher. They're a lot, graphically, it's an upgrade from PS3. This game is not like an expanded edition or anything that came with all the DLC or a code or anything. I did actually go online with the system and download like some costumes and shit. I think it was like $3 or $4 to get the Anarchy pack of costumes and props and shit for your characters, just for the hell of it. And I did buy one like expanded mission thing that was like $10 called Shen's Last Gift or something. Shen was the guy who was in charge of the engineering department stuff in the first game, and you're dealing with his granddaughter or daughter, I'm not sure which at this point, but it's a side mission that adds some depth, and it's supposed to add a different character class, I think, to the game. And I thought for $10 that sounded like a good deal. The expanded stuff to buy right now is still $30 or $40, and I am not finished with the game yet. If I finish the game, maybe I would think about it, but at this point, I'm just trying to get through it. I didn't show the disc because I actually pulled the disc out of it to put in the case, and then I laid it on the table out there right next to the system and forgot to put it in the case. So I do have it. It was in the machine and I pulled it out, but I forgot to bring it back here and put it in the case. So this is what I've been dedicating all my time to. Actually, I bought the theme for this too, for the PS4. It basically has this alien head that's made up of a bunch of little human faces. On the cover here, they're skulls. Well, on the theme, when you're looking at it on the normal, you know, you have your normal stuff across, they look like little human faces, but when you pop up into the other menu, it does a wipe and they change to skulls, which is pretty cool. And it's got some of the XCOM music and stuff. I thought it was worth $1 or $2. I think it was $2 for it. So we picked up that too. And I'm really enjoying it. I recommend the XCOM series in general. I had actually forgotten. And, man, I don't know how to say your screen name now that you changed it. It's Chris Fur, and then he has numbers in the middle. But he was talking about XCOM 2, or XCOM, and he was talking about the PS1 XCOM, and I remembered when he started talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because I was looking to get a long box version of XCOM UFO Defense for the PS1, and they had it at Vintage Stock out in Lee Summit. And it was like $40 or something at the time, and I didn't want to pay that. And I kind of forgot about it. And he sparked a memory in me, listening to him talk about it and talking about, because he kind of picked up XCOM 2 because of what I was saying here, you know, to check it out. And I had forgotten about the PS1 version, and now I'm real keen to try to get a long box version. It looks like the long box one's going to be a little harder to find. I saw an eBay sale for the long box, the plastic box with the artwork and stuff in it for $15, but it's just the box and the instructions and stuff, no game. But then I thought if I picked up the box, I could probably get a loose disc version for around $20, and it would be complete for about $35. But I don't know. I bookmarked. I'm watching that case for PS1. Excuse me, I think I just burped. But yeah, I had totally forgotten about that game, brother, and you brought that up. And when you did, I was like, oh yeah, I wanted that so bad. And I just didn't want to pay that price at the time. I was collecting long box PS1 games. I was really looking for them at that time. And XCOM was one I wanted to get, and they actually had it, and it was in their case. It wasn't out on the floor, but it was like $40 or something. And I was like, that's just a little bit too much, man. I wanted to buy some other things, and I just didn't want to buy just that at the time. So I let it slide, and then somebody else picked it up. So anyway, yeah, I think I paid $23 or $24 for this. And it was worth it, definitely worth it. So, the next thing I'm going to move on to is, hold on a second here, the other PS4 games I picked up. This is actually the second game I picked up. I picked it up at Toys R Us. I bought the Battlefront 2 PS4 Slim Pack, and I had ordered XCOM 2 and another game, which I'm going to show after this one, and I was waiting for those to get here, and it was going to be a week or so, and I just went into Toys R Us. I was mainly looking at Pops, and I went over and I was looking at their PS4 games in the case and stuff, and then I came over to this area over here where they usually have either used stuff, I think, or stuff that's like marked down quite a bit. And this game was over there, and it was $12, and it was brand new. It wasn't used. And I talked about it when I was talking about the 360, and I've never finished any of the games. I think I made it about halfway through the first one. And it's a quality series, I've always felt. And I can't say enough good things about this from what I played so far. It's got a really in-depth story. Graphically, it's pretty awesome looking. But the story might be a little too much for me at the moment. Because, like I said, I'd rather just play XCOM and kind of do that at the moment. The story is so engaging on this, though. And I started playing it, and I got a little ways into it. But basically, as soon as I got XCOM 2 in the mail, I stopped playing this game. But what it is, it was $12, and I picked it up. I don't know if any of you all have played it. If you have, you might give me your opinion of it. But so far, what I've played, it seems pretty solid, and that's Mass Effect Andromeda. And like I said, I got this at Toys R Us, brand new, for $12. And there's no case, anything in the case, because when I was on eBay shortly after that, I was looking, and I actually saw that they had steelbooks for the game, and I got this steelbook for, I think, around $10. So I went ahead and picked up a steel book case for it. So here's Mass Effect Andromeda in the steelbook case. This is like another $10. So basically, I got the game for $22, and I got it in the steelbook, which is nice. And the artwork inside is pretty cool as well. And I thought it was nice. I don't know if there was a steelbook version of the game or whether they just made steelbook cases. Same thing with this other one. I think it was actually a steelbook version. What happened was, the other game I'm getting ready to show, I ordered, and it was a steelbook. And that's when I went online and started looking. And actually, they make a steelbook for XCOM 2 case, but it looked like it was maybe only in the UK. And if I bought one, it was going to ship from the UK, but it was like $20 plus ship, which isn't horrible, but I didn't think at the time. I'd rather buy some more games than buy a $20 steelbook case for XCOM 2 at the moment. But for 10, I thought it was well worth it, and it didn't come from overseas or anything. So yeah, like I said, I really thought this is pretty solid starting off. You really don't miss anything by starting this without finishing the other games, because this actually takes place in a totally different galaxy, and it's kind of a ways after what happened in the other games. So this really doesn't need to be, need the playing of the other games before it to jump in on this one and really understand what's going on. And I kind of was saying that to Christopher with numbers, that you don't have to play Enemy Within to play XCOM 2. You can kind of jump in, and it's really no big deal. They do explain who a couple of the people are and stuff, and if you played the other games, you can call back to that and go, oh yeah, I remember him, or that person was related to him, or whoever. But it's not important to the game. So these two, and then the third one I picked up, you probably can guess. I picked up Fallout 4, and it was in a steelbook. I bought it off eBay in the steelbook, and I haven't even I stuck this in just to see if it needed to do any installing, and booted it up. So when I did take my PS4 online, it would do all the updates for all the games I have, and it did update like 4 or 5 versions or something, but it's got this little jobby in it. I don't know what little condensed edition survival guide. Basically, it just tells you how the controller works. A little ad for the season pass. I don't really know what that is, nor do I care at the moment. And it came with this poster as well, which I'm not sure exactly what it is about. It says Vault Tech, and it's got little different guys and a bunch of the little different things on it. It's got the Fallout guy and doing a bunch of different stuff. So I don't know what that is, but I thought the poster looked cool, and he had it all laid out and showed everything that was coming with it, and that it was a steelbook. And I think I paid $18 for this. I didn't think that was too out of the realm, and I figured if I ever wanted the DLC and stuff, I would just buy it, as opposed to worrying about getting a Game of the Year edition, which I did see they had a Game of the Year edition. But from what I could tell, even if you got the Game of the Year edition, you still had to download everything through a code. So I figured, what's the difference between buying that and downloading with a code, or just buying it when maybe they have a sale on the DLC or something. So those are the games, basically, the PS4 games that I have outside of the other Resident Evil games we picked up last weekend, and I haven't even played those. I stuck them in. I did play Revelations for about 5 minutes just to see how it felt. I like it, but I'm XCOM engrossed at the moment, and so that's what we're doing. And so yeah, I've been playing about a couple hours a night anyway of XCOM, and we're moving along, and I really kind of pulled back. I realized another thing too, in the first XCOM, or in XCOM Enemy Within, I know I keep talking about XCOM, you'd think I like worked for the company that made the game or something, but in Enemy Within, the idea when you went on missions was to kill all the guys. You show up, the enemies would basically be camped in different spots, and it was, you know, the map was dark, and as you moved up on them, it would you would trigger, you know, them seeing you, and then you would move on. Well, XCOM 2 now, the guys don't camp. They pretty much, they will walk in like a patrol pattern, and it's not guaranteed which direction they're going to walk. I mean, there's no real rhyme or reason to the direction that the enemies decide to walk. And if they walk up on you and you're hiding behind something, if you don't move, you're okay. But you'll see like a red grid pattern on the ground, and it'll tell you you're in their line of sight now. And you know, I think that's fine. I like that aspect of it. It does make it a little more stealthy in certain missions where you have to go and like blow something up. Sometimes you can get into the building and get close to blowing it up before you even have to engage any of the enemies. But one of the big mechanics that I learned on this game, and it was a hard learning curve, you can't kill everything every time. Some of the missions where you're going to secure a VIP or blow something up, you're just supposed to get in there and get that guy and get out of there. Either blow it up and extract your characters, or escort the VIP to the extraction point and extract your characters. And you cannot, sometimes there's too many enemies, or they're too strong to kill them all, or you're going to lose guys. And I have a tendency to save the game right before I'm going into a mission. So if I screw it up, I want to start it over. Well, the load time is like friggin' 2 or 3 minutes if you want to restart over or start over. And it just is forever. And I've restarted some missions 4 and 5. The one that I finally was like, I just got to go. I can't kill everybody. And that's the one I was talking about on Saturday. Was I was getting this VIP guy, and I was trying to kill everything on screen, and there was no possible way. I was going to lose at least one guy, if not 2 guys, trying to get out of it. If I tried killing everything, I just had to run. And I snuck as far as I could to get to the extraction point, and then I had to haul ass and get the guy up the you know, to it and pull him out, and then extract my guys as they're taking fire the whole way to get out of there. And if I would have stayed, I probably would have lost 2 or 3 characters. I might have finished the fight, but I would have lost characters. And I hate it when I lose characters, because you spend a lot of time getting them ready. I'm trying to see how much time we got left, because I keeps talking about XCOM forever. I can't read it. I can just tell it's still going. Let me see. When did I start this? We're probably getting close to the thing. I think I'm going to pause it and come back. Alright, yeah, we were at 25 minutes, so I would have definitely been talking to nothing in about 5 minutes. So, yeah, there's that. I do enjoy it. It's just, it really was frustrating until I figured out the learning curve, and I had to go online and Google some stuff and figure out what I needed to do, because it was just not explained in the game easily enough that you weren't gonna be able to figure it out without probably dying and having to restart the game at some point. And I'm playing it on easy. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay, so we're done with that. Now I have a couple of rock candy figures here from Christmas time. And then I have 3 pops that I picked up that are video game related. Actually, most of this is video game related. And then I have a package. First off, I will show the pop that is not video game related. This one was my I think I talked about some other stuff, and I had like some add-on items that were on my Amazon order that were really, you know, I got them for, you know, $2 or $3 because they were add-on items. Well, this rock candy figure was an add-on item, and I don't know, I thought it was kind of cute, but I mean, I liked the first movie and the second movie as well, but it's for the movie Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and this is the rock candy figure for Mantis. And I didn't put them back in the box because what am I going to do? I'm going to take them back out of the box to show it to you after I put it in the box. So this was the box for the Mantis figure. And this is what she looks like here. They also have a Gamora figure. I've seen that one. I thought about getting it, but I haven't purchased that one yet. I actually saw it at Toys R Us. But this is the Mantis figure. And I think it's pretty cool. This one's actually kind of a bobblehead. The head is on like a spring, which is a little different. It's only one of these rock candy figures that I've bought that has the head on kind of like a bobble. But I like it. It was $3. I keep these on top of the entertainment center in the living room. And so they're pretty cool. I have the Elvira and the Harley Quinn and a Jessica Rabbit, and then Mantis, and then these two here that I'm getting ready to show. And these are video game related. I got one of them, I think, yeah, I got them both on eBay. Well, no, I got one of them on Amazon. Alright, 2 gaming franchises that are well known, and they are pretty awesome in their own right. And so the 2 rock candy figures that are here are for Lara Croft. Lara Croft, this is the box. And this is the Lara Croft figure here. She's got the braided ponytail and the both guns out. And yeah, I like this one quite a bit. It was like $8. I've gotten pretty much the few rock candy figures that I really want. They have a lot of superhero ones, and I'm not as big into superheroes per se. Like I said, I bought the Mantis because it was like $3, and it was an add-on deal. But here is the Lara Croft on the box. And like I said, I really love the Funko stuff because they're not crazy and they don't tape the boxes shut and stuff to the point where you'll damage the box trying to get the figure out. So you can actually display them and put them back in the box if you want to keep them nice, but pull them out for your display purposes. So Lara, not Laura, Lara. And the final one is from a game that I am not good at, but I remember it from when I was in high school, and then actually I remember in college at the in the cafeteria at the community college where I went for 2 semesters. They had a game there, a arcade cab there, and I would play it there sometimes, waiting for my next class to start. But that would be the game Street Fighter 2, and the rock candy figure is for Chun-Li. Now this is the box. This was a GameStop exclusive. There was also a pink variant to this figure that was, I believe, also a GameStop exclusive, but I didn't get the pink one. So anyway, this is the Chun-Li figure, and I think that's pretty sweet. Chun-Li was always the character that I really played. When I very first played it the first time, she was the one I took. I liked the leg kick, the I forget what it's called, but the fast leg kick and stuff. And she had like a fire projectile ball, and she also had like a whirlwind kick spin thing. And I just would hammer that button and kick the leg really fast. Yep, that kind of thing. But yeah, Chun-Li was maybe one of the first female characters I remember that you could really play. That and Samurai Showdown had Charlotte. But really, that was kind of the very start of it back then, was with the female characters, and Chun-Li was one of the first, for real. And I like the hair tassels look like they're kind of blowing in the wind, and she's in a pose like she's getting ready to fight. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, there's a pink one, but I didn't understand the pink one because, blue is the costume, that her normal costume color. I think I showed this before, but I might grab it because it's another Chun-Li related item. Now, I bought this a long time back, and I've never taken it out of this box. It's for the PlayStation 2, and it is a gaming fighting stick, or fighting controller, and it's a Chun-Li fighting controller, and it's still in the box, but it's the official Street Fighter Anniversary Edition controller. For some reason, the box is starting to, the graphic on the front of this is starting to kind of bubble a little bit along this edge. I don't really know why, because I've taken good care of this and it hasn't been in a lot of humidity or anything. It also looks like maybe this corner, I don't know if I did that or if it came that way, that maybe this corner got hit like that at one point, because it's got kind of some creases in it. I may have done that, I don't recall at this point, but the controller is still in the pack, and I've never taken it out of this box. And I believe I got a fairly good deal on this. I don't remember. I probably did a video on it when I got it. I was just reading this, like, I didn't know if that was a COA, like a certificate of authenticity of the controller. The graphic on it kicks up and down if you move it. It's one of those kind of stickers where it moves. So that's pretty cool. The back, it's like the 15th anniversary or something. So yeah, this was something I really enjoyed, and she, like I said, she was my gal when I would play that game. I played Ken as well. I liked Ken because I liked the moves that he did. He mirrored Ryu in a lot of ways, but Ken, his punches and kicks were a little faster. They didn't do as much damage, but they were a little quicker. And I liked that they kind of varied it a little bit. I think after the original, I don't remember when they added it, to where he had like the flaming uppercut as opposed to the normal one. And yeah, but his whirlwind kick and stuff was faster, and so you'd get more little hits in going around as opposed to Ryu, who would get these big sweeping, knockdown hits. So yeah, I'm not good at Street Fighter at all, and I never have been. I was more of a Tekken guy, and I really liked Killer Instinct for a while. Saberwolf, was that the guy's name? I think, yeah, was the guy I played. And so, yeah, I've never been very good at fighting games. I've got some of the DOA games, and I've got some different Samurai Showdown ones and stuff. I always loved Samurai Showdown, but I've never even beaten it, beaten the arcade version. I've never played through the whole thing. So I always played Hanzo, and so yeah. Let's see, I got a couple more pops, and then we're out of here. Well, in a package. These, I'd kind of forgotten that they came out. And when I was at Toys R Us around Christmas time, I saw one, and I was like, oh, I forgot about those. And I went online and I looked at them, and I thought about ordering. There's 4 of them in the group, and I thought about ordering all 4 of them, but I really wasn't sold on 2 of them. So I bought 2 initially, and then when I got one of them in the mail, that was the one that was damaged, that they had to send me another one on, and that I glued, and I ended up giving to a friend of mine named Ben. But anyway, I'm going to show them now finally. And then what happened is last weekend when I was at GameStop, they were having the sale and the pops, and I bought one of the other 2 that I was missing because I needed like a third one to fill out the ones that I wanted. I got, like I said, a Stranger Things one that was like a con exclusive, and then I bought 2 other ones, and one of them was this one. And so I'm going to show them, starting with the one that I actually bought and got broken originally. And that would be, it's for Portal 2, and that would be the Shell Pop. And she comes with the cube. What's that cube called? I forget what it's called. Why am I drawing a blank on the cube? Anyway, she's got the cube with her. And she's got the boots on and the gun. What happened is this gun has the 3 little prongs on it. One of the prongs was broken off on the one that got to me in the mail, and I told Amazon I wanted a replacement, and they just sent me another one without having me send the other one back. So this one actually arrived undamaged, so I was happy. And then to go along with that, I bought the Portal 2. The other one I bought was the turret. Companion Cube. That's what the frick it was called. Yeah, I bought the turret. So the turret's pretty cool. And those were the 2 I bought. But these are for Portal 2. So they also made pops for the 2 co-op player guys. And I think they're cool looking, but I wasn't sold on them because I never really played the co-op player and didn't really think much about it. But I thought they were kind of cool, and like I said, I needed one to fill out. I would have bought both of them if they would have had both of them, but they didn't. They only had one. So I bought this one. I'm probably going to try to pick the other one up either online or maybe go to Toys R Us and see if they had it, because I think the other one is the one that I actually originally saw at Toys R Us that sent me to buy them anyway. And this one is called Peabody. The other one's called Atlas. And I don't have him. But he's on the back right there. He's the one with the blue eye, and he's more rounded. They're like the peanut M&Ms and the regular M&Ms guy. That's what they kind of remind me of. You got the round, short one, and then the tall, kind of skinnier one. And they remind me of those M&Ms in the commercial. But, yeah, I bought those pops. Those are video game. Most of these are video game related, except for the Manus. And I got a few other ones, but I'll show those on another day. This video doesn't need to be much longer than it already is. Let's see, we're still going on time. Last things last, I got a package in the mail. I bought this off eBay because I was watching some old videos for Metal Jesus, and I was watching his PS3 Hidden Gems video. And about 3 or 4 of the games that he recommended I already had, and I agreed that I thought they were hidden. Well, they weren't hidden gems, but I agreed that they were good games and definitely worth people playing. It was like Enslaved and Singularity, and there were a couple other ones. But this one I didn't ever know even existed. And it's funny because I've been really talking up the other games lately, and it's an XCOM game, and I didn't know this game existed. And he showed it and said it was a hidden gem, and he said it plays more like a Mass Effect, kind of that cover-based shooting of a Mass Effect style game, and you're basically got like 3 or 4 people with you, but evidently the AI characters are dumb as a post, from what Metal Jesus was saying. But he said if you can not worry about them and do your thing, then the game's really fun. So I ordered this, and I ordered it for $5 on eBay, and I think $2 or $3. I think it was $3 shipping. So it was like $8. Well, you know, the guy told me when I ordered it that he would be shipping it out, you know, after, I think it was over Martin Luther King holiday. It was Monday. It was like a Martin Luther King day. And the post offices are closed. And he goes, well, the post office, he sent me a message and said, the post office is closed. I will be shipping this out to you tomorrow. That's as soon as I can get it out to you. Please accept my, you know, apology or whatever. I didn't really sweat it. You know, I was like, no big deal. The guy lived in Florida and was shipping it. Well, guess what ended up happening? This is not the guy's fault at all. For some reason, this package went all the way out to California. I saw it in the tracking. It was tracking for like 4 or 5 days saying it was heading to Independence. Then suddenly it shows up in San Francisco. Then it's in San Francisco. Then it went to another city in California, or a distribution hub or something, and then came all the way back to Missouri. So it went from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, and then came back to pretty much dead center in the United States. I don't know why the post office sent it all the way to California from Florida when it has my address on it and it definitely says Missouri. I have no clue. But it's not the guy's fault that it came. It was supposed to get here on the 28th, and it just got here today. So it's a few days late, but it's definitely not this dude's fault, you know, for sure. Because, you know, once he put it in the mail, it was the post office that needed to get it to me, and they're the ones that put it on the wrong truck or whatever and sent it all the way in the hell to California. So anyway, the game is called The Bureau XCOM Declassified. That's why I had no clue this was an XCOM game. It's because it says The Bureau really big, but then it says XCOM Declassified really small at the very bottom. And it basically says, a Special Agent Carter uses the power of battle focus and commands his squad in tactical combat to outsmart the unknown enemy and eradicate the threat. This is like supposed to be like back in the like 40s or 50s, and you're fighting aliens, but it plays more like a real-time cover-based shooter, more like Mass Effect is what Metal Jesus said it kind of feels like. And I was like, that's cool. I mean, I like the turn-based strategy. I definitely prefer the turn-based strategy, but I figured I would give anything XCOM a go. And if he recommended it and it was only $5, you know, I was like, I'll give it a chance. So, yeah, I paid $8 total to get it shipped here. But it looks like a little steampunk, like they have tech that's really kind of big and bulky and stuff, but it's supposed to do like high-tech things like lasers and things like that, which is really kind of cool. I'll have to let you know how this goes. Maybe we'll do a little gameplay on it. I don't know. But I thought it looked really cool, and yeah, I was like, I'll check out that game. So yeah, it may be a hidden gem for all I know. So anyway, folks, that's kind of my video for this week. It's nothing spectacular, and I really have kind of slacked off on buying stuff. Last week I kind of splurged on the PlayStation 4 on buying those games, but yeah, it's not because I don't have money to buy anything or anything. It's not that. It's just I kind of went on a little splurge, and I kind of got what I wanted for the time being, and I really don't feel like there's a lot out there. Now, the XCOM UFO Defense for the PS1, I do want, but I got a feeling I'm going to have to order it online. I don't think I'm going to run across it in the wild again like I did years ago. It was probably a couple of years ago anyway. It could be up to 5-6 years ago for all I remember. I think it is like 5 or 6 years ago, because I think my mom was still around, so I don't know. And she, you know, I can't believe she's been gone five and a half years. This May it'll be 6 years, and it's really hard for me to believe that. I still, miss her every day, but it was just one of those things. It happened sudden, and you never can tell. So the best thing to do is just enjoy life, because you never know what's going to happen, and don't worry about and dwell on things. Just try to have a good time, and whatever you do to do that is up to you. And as long as you aren't hurting anybody, I don't see any problem with it. So anyway, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for coming by, and we'll call this a freaking video. And I'm going to go play a freaking game, as DeadThumbGamer would say. I think I'm going to play some XCOM. So signing off. We'll see you next vid, and be good, as Vampyre Mike would say. I'm stealing everybody's lines tonight.